All right, everyone, welcome back to episode 14 of What the Devil. Remember, if you want to listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, they're free to listen to you too. Don't need to watch the YouTube video. You can listen to them on the go. And we're going to start by talking about, slightly on yesterday's game, but Bruno Fernandes obviously was fantastic. 2 goals and assists in the second half. He really showed his leadership skills. But I think one player as well who showed their leadership skills, who's not getting as much of a mention, is Harry Maguire. So there's been obviously a lot surrounding Harry Maguire this season. He started the season really poorly. He was obviously out of the team, but then he started to creep his way back in around December, did well, got an injury, was out for another month, and he's come back. And he's probably having the best preparation for a Euros tournament he's had in a while, because he's having a consistent run of games. He's playing through injury and still playing well, and both against Coventry and against Sheffield United. I know slightly lesser teams, but he's been a man to step up. He scored in both. Yeah, he scored the first goal in both games, 2 headers, and he scored the second goal against Coventry, didn't he? Second goal. But I think he's actually really stepped up. And so I just want to pose the question, is he potentially someone who maybe Ineos shouldn't sell this summer anymore, considering that, Raphael Varane almost certainly out the door, Victor Lindelof could instead cash in on him this summer. Johnny Evans, we don't know what's going to happen with Johnny Evans, which leaves just Maguire and Martinez. And although Ineos seem to want to get a new centre-back in, maybe he shouldn't go.
You said this in your fan view yesterday, and it took me back a bit. Not because the agenda of Harry Maguire, it was just an interesting point that you make. I think it depends on what business we're trying to do and how much we can do, and who we want to bring in, how much they cost, etc., etc. There's 2 ways of looking at this, right? There's multiple ways of looking at this. Actually, not just 2. You could say that Maguire is the most sellable asset out of all the centre-backs we have, so it could actually generate the most money to go and buy another one. So if we don't know what sort of bids are going to arrive for Harry Maguire, so if a bid of 25, he's playing well, going to have a good Euros as well probably. If a bid of 25, 30 million arrives for Harry Maguire, there's no other centre-back we can sell that's going to fetch that amount of money.
Oh, for sure.
So that could go towards getting the young kid who is, or whoever that centre-back's going to be, if it's Jared Brantwaite, and we need to raise funds for that, and there's an offer on the table for Harry Maguire, Ineos would probably say, well, he's going to fetch the most money, so he's the most sellable asset. You could look at it the other way and say, well, Varane's probably just going to leave, just on a free, he's done. Johnny Evans probably won't get a new deal, so that's 2 down. So that's 2 centre-backs you've got to backfill anyway, which is going to cost money to do so. And Lindelof is obviously very sellable. We gave him a trigger on his contract and he only has 1 year left, so you have to sell him now. Probably only fetch between what?
5-10 million maybe, yeah.
I think 10 max, yeah. I don't know, maybe even 11, 12. But he's only got a year left, so yeah, let's just say 10. So Ineos, from a financial, will have to work out, well, getting rid of Maguire with a year left on his contract, 2 years on his contract left, I think, because they've got an extra year to trigger. If you get rid of him now, how much does it cost to replace him? And how light would we be? Because we've also got 2 other centre-backs who are going to probably walk out for free in Varane and Johnny Evans. So we're 2 down again. So the financials and what the package looks like depends on many factors. In terms of Harry Maguire, the player, and what he can offer, well, we've seen, it says who are Man United's leaders there. We've seen what taking the armband off Harry Maguire and the spotlight off him has done. It's enabled him to play better. It absolutely has.
Oh, for sure. You can really tell that when he had the armband on, it was that plus the 80 million. Feel like
weighed heavy, bro.
He's not an 80 million pound.
Never
player.
has been.
We accepted a while ago. He is not the 80 million pound Virgil van Dijk-esque defender that Solskjaer thought he was hopefully getting. And then obviously when he had the armband, there was so much around him, and there was the whole thing in Greece. It was all piling on him. Yeah. And earlier on this season, towards the beginning of the season and in the summer, I wanted him to be sold.
Yeah,
I was
same.
When
he
the
nearly
West Ham
was, so
stuff
did
coming in, yeah. And I was like, you know what, yeah, 25, 30 mil, go to West Ham, please. Same with Scott McTominay. Yeah. I think just go back on the point about the most sellable asset. It is him and Scott McTominay. Yeah. The most sellable assets that we can afford to just
to say yes
to say yes, they can go.
Yeah.
But I think just the more I think about it, and obviously watching him yesterday and watching him against Coventry, he does have a really useful skill set, both kind of on and off the pitch.
But as a squad, and this is what I'm saying, if we can't do as much, Ten Hag doesn't want Harry Maguire to start. We've seen that.
Yeah.
So I don't think people should be watching this going, because this is what people will do. So you're saying that, you know, we shouldn't keep Varane and, you know, we should keep Maguire. You think Maguire's better than Varane. That's not what we're saying. We're saying economically, with the way that it's going, there's more chance of Maguire staying than Varane. That's just how the mathematics of the situation is going. And clearly Erik ten Hag does not want to start Harry Maguire. It's needs must. He showed us that last year. But if Harry Maguire is going to be a squad player next year, which he was supposed to be this year, there's only more injuries made him play. He didn't start off this season playing. It was Varane and Maguire. It was Varane and Martinez, and then we saw what happened from there. So if he stays as like the third choice centre-back to come in here and there, then you go and buy the Branthwaite or whoever it is, and that's our starting centre-back pairing, Branthwaite and Martinez, or Todibo and Martinez, or whoever this centre-back is going to be, that isn't necessarily for another year the worst thing. What does Harry Maguire want to do? Harry Maguire dug his heels in last time when West Ham came knocking and said no. Yes, the rumours were about, you know, payouts and this, that and the other, but also we can't take away from the player, which we forget. We want to hound players out and say they're not good enough, and we know that we need to move past his level. But he himself is going to back himself. I want to stay at Man United as long as possible. I'm in the England squad. When he leaves Man United, he can't go up. He's not going to play for a team, you know, bigger than Man United, above us. He's not. So what does it look like for him? So this is where, again, the sins of the past. You give a player a long contract, he's going to be within his rights to say, no problem, I'll sit. There's going to be injuries, and when there is, I'm going to get my head down and I'm going to take my opportunity. And that's what he's done. So I see why you actually say that. I see why. It isn't because it's less about, he's actually done well in the last couple of games, like against Coventry and Sheffield United. He's better than we thought, keep him. No, it's not actually about that. It's about the pressure's been off him. He can offer us a unique skill set, and he's not supposed to be the main guy. I still would take the money for him. If a good bid come in, I would, because we can reinvest other ways. But he deserves massive credit for how he's turned it around. And, you know, it's not been a great season for the team, but his redemption arc has been high.
I think there is one big red flag with Harry Maguire, which is what we've seen over the last 2 years, is when it's going well with Maguire, you know, it's going well. He plays well, he scores some clutch goals, makes some good defensive tackles, all of that stuff. But when it goes badly, it seems to just go really badly.
When his confidence is gone, his head's all over the gaff, he's getting caught high up the pitch. And the type of game that we want to play, you know, people say whether it's with Ten Hag or without, is not one that is going to consist of prime Harry Maguire. It's not. Yeah. That's not. Like, we have to move past. He wouldn't get into any other top 16. So, well, might be able to start at Chelsea because, like, Badia Shields and Axel Disasi are crap. Like, but that's they're not a top 16. They're 10th or whatever they're.
They're the one team who are below us.
Exactly. So that's where we have to be like, so why are we accepting that? Just because he's been good within a certain period and he's done well, we still need to look at how we want to move away from that and take a level up. So he deserves respect. He deserves like the plaudits and praise for getting his head down and giving us good performances. And if he stays as a squad player, I don't mind that. But for him to stay and be the main man still, or that's just not going to happen, even if Ten Hag stays.
That is too far gone. Him playing 55, 60 games a season, no, I don't want that. If that's what it is that was selling, sell him. Try and get, because as you said, 25, 30 million, easy. How long has he got left on his contract?
I think he's got 1 year, but they can trigger another
1 year extension. So let's say there's realistically 2 years left on his contract. There is 25, 30 million there. He's 31, 32, I believe. But
it's good money.
I think he's just going back to the main question on the screen. Who are Man United's leaders? He is one of them. You got Maguire, Bruno Fernandes, Dalot, probably a good one. Martinez, whenever he's fit, which he's only played 11 games this season, I think. So you can't really count him in that circle.
Luke Shaw, I don't put in that.
There aren't a lot of leaders, and so if you sell Harry Maguire, you've then got to buy not just another centre back, but you've got to buy another leader, and it's hard to buy leaders.
But it is, but you have to make leaders. It is hard to buy leaders. Not every time you're going to be able to have a spare 105 million like Arsenal did and go and buy Declan Rice, who's a ready-made leader. But I'm not really, if I'm honest, I'm less concerned with that because I'm like, well, we need to build a new Man United. Ineos need to build a new team. That comes with building new players, trusting new players, finding new players who can take on the mantle of understanding what Man United is and put it on their back. Now, Dalot will still be here. He's a leader. He's getting it. He gets what it is to play for Man United. He's increased his performance level. He's had a really good season. He's probably our player of the season. He's up there as that anyway.
Oh, I don't think there's anyone else you could say is player of the season.
There you go.
Yeah.
So he gets it. Martinez, he's fierce. He's ferocious. He gets the passion. He can be a leader. Casemiro gets brandished as that in the dressing room because of his experiences in his career. So he can help young players with verbally, but we can see where his game's at. That's not. Do you know what I mean? It's not something for Kobe Mainoo to copy, is it?
No.
Where Casemiro's game is presently at. But around the training ground and how you look after yourself and talking to him, we can learn a lot.
That helps.
But he needs to go. And Bruno is the leader. Bruno is the leader, not just because of what he did last night, but he's actually having a good season. I was looking at his numbers. Because we've been so bad, you don't really realise he's got like 15 goals and like, was it 11
especially in the last like 6 games, I think he's got
7 and 5.
Yeah.
Which
crazy.
When someone said it to me afterwards, they was like, "Yeah, that's his 7 and 5." I was like, "Is it?" But because we're playing crap and we haven't. Before that, the last Premier League game we won was Everton.
Yeah.
You know how mad that is. And when
And he's
Garnacho won the
scored in
penalties,
like all of them, and he's carried us to at least draws.
Exactly. So we don't have many leaders, but that's the problem, bro. We have to rebuild it all. Like what's there now? Marcus Rashford's not a leader. Can't trust in Casemiro. Can't trust in Wan-Bissaka. Can't trust in the left backs. Luke Shaw, Malacia's young. Lindelof gone. Varane is a leader when he plays and stuff, been experienced, but again, he's coming on his way out. Rasmus Højlund's young. Eriksen's on his way out. McTominay's not a leader. Anthony's not a leader. Ahmad's young. Like, Kobe's young. Like, we don't have any, bro. Like, that's why it's default Bruno anyway. And he deserves it. But we shouldn't be trying to re-establish Maguire as one because we saw what happens when he was an actual leader.
Yeah, true.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
we need to
enough.
move away from it, in my opinion.
I think maybe with this whole rebuild, you rebuild the team and the leaders will just emerge.
Exactly,
I feel like.
bro.
The next couple of seasons.
Braithwaite could be the next Man United captain, we don't know.
Yeah, and you can see, I'd say like players like Alejandro Garnacho, I think, if he stays at United, let's say next 4 or 5 years, he'll have 6 years of experience at 24.
So he'll be an experienced player in there.
He'll then grow into a leader.
Exactly.
Like
I don't ever think he's captain material, Garnacho.
No, for sure.
He's not that, but he can have experience.
He'll be part of the group.
Will have 4 or 5 years. He could be a captain. You never know.
You want the spine of your team to be your leaders.
Correct.
But you want one of them to be captain, obviously, and that'll be like the talisman, for example, Bruno, or it'll be like the guy that sits, someone like Declan Rice at Arsenal, who I know it's Odegaard's captain there, but he sits there, sees everything.
You want leaders without armbands.
Yeah. I think that is one thing Maguire does do. Leads without the armband, and with the armband, he almost doesn't lead. Yeah.
So I don't even think, do you know what? I'll be honest. I don't even think it's leading without the armband. I think he can just play his own game better without the armband. So that, he's doing the things he should do. He's not making crazy mistakes. He's not moving mad because there's all this pressure. Look at some of the bad results that we've had this year, how bad we've been. Imagine he was still captain. Imagine the penalties he'd be taking then.
Oh yeah, no, that'd be terrible.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He did it last year.
The stories
when he wasn't even playing.
Yeah.
He was taking pelters because Bruno was the real captain. When, he had to lift the Carabao Cup. With Bruno, with having not played. So I don't think we should be looking back to Maguire for any form of leadership. I just think that he's just a better, more calm player when he doesn't have the armband on.
Just to have around.
There you go.
I guess, yeah. So I think in conclusion.
So we only have one.
We have one leader, it's Bruno Fernandes,
and
he is carrying us at the moment.
Exactly.
Especially yesterday. It's so good to see yesterday Bruno Fernandes playing properly.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, it is nice. And
scoring goals with the left foot as well, lovely.
Yeah, what
a finish. Yeah.
When I watched it back, obviously you see it once in the stadium. It's not until you watch the replays and see just how good a strike that is from that distance. Against bottom of the league or not, so it's a great
goal's
strike.
a goal. And Fodrington was
and he was
awesome
playing brilliant. He's the reason why we weren't 3-0 up by half time. Pissing me off, he was good.
Oh yeah, I've gone out in my FPL team, and every time I was just sat there with my head in my hands like this, going, "Please score, do something," because I need the points. I bought my league. But so obviously we're gonna move on to a little game.
Yes.
So
I love a game.
Guess the player. I've got 5 players. I've got 3 facts per player, and I want you to rack your experienced ball knowledge brain to try and work out. Because I remember last time we did this, it was with you and I can't remember who else it was with.
Or was it me and Raf?
I think maybe you and Kane.
Yeah.
And I think you got all 5.
Yes.
So this time we're going to go with first one.
Right.
I've played for my country at all levels. Obviously, you have a guess if you want, pass if you want.
David Beckham.
No.
Okay.
Second one, I played in Portugal.
Would you go Cristiano Ronaldo? Cristiano Ronaldo?
No, it's not Cristiano Ronaldo. Third one, and I love this story. In August 2020, I witnessed the robbery of a 90-year-old woman by a man on a bike. I then chased them with a feet. Yep. Chased them on foot, managed to catch him holding me down until police arrived. I didn't know that until I was researching this morning.
I remember when that happened.
That's crazy.
Yeah, what a guy. What a guy, mate.
It's like, remember, what was it, Kolasinac?
Kolasinac and Ozil.
Yeah.
So, you need players who are going to step up, mate.
Maybe Lindelof's a leader.
Played all level Sweden. Yeah, okay, Victor Lindelof.
Yep,
got that.
Second one, okay. I am European.
Oh, come on. These are the people in the squad now as well, aren't it?
No, not necessarily.
Oh, just any?
Yeah.
I'm European.
I know, yeah. Vague one to start with.
Nani.
No. Bit of a rogue shout, Nani, as well.
Yeah, don't know why.
I am in United's top 20 goal scorers.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
No. Third one, I'm in the Premier League Hall of Fame.
Andy Cole.
No.
What?
Eric Cantona.
Oh, I was going to say King Eric, the reason why I support Man United. No. But that's still really hard because that could still be...
It could still be a lot of
anything.
people, yeah.
It could have been Andy Cole.
He's
European. He's in our top 20.
Technically, you're not wrong.
I'm not wrong.
It's not the guy that got written
It's just
down
not who you picked, so I'm wrong. Disgrace.
Next one. I played for United for over 10 years. Since 2000.
Since 2000?
He's played for United since 2000. Narrow it down a little bit. Played for United for over 10 years.
From 2000 onwards?
Yeah.
Okay. Gary Neville.
No. Sir Alex Ferguson made a special sacrifice for me. It's a really good story.
Sir Alex made a special sacrifice, but since 2000 though. Paul Scholes.
No. Last one. I was busted for petty theft.
That's annoying.
This is a hilarious story.
And he sat in the helped him with the police and stuff. That's Andy Cole. Who is it?
It's David De Gea.
David De Gea?
Yeah.
Oh, when he sat in the thing, yes.
He got done for stealing a
for
donut.
God's sake. Do you know what it is? I said Andy Cole because Andy Cole, I did a night with Andy Cole hosting his life, and he told me a story where Sir Alex, there was a similar thing where he had to vouch for him, like with something, like a legal thing. So I thought it was him. But I do remember the De Gea one.
Yeah, no, the special sacrifice was he's obviously one of the only games Sir Alex has missed was to go and see David De Gea play live. Yeah. Pretty big sacrifice. Yeah. Just to go watch him play and then obviously signed him.
David De Gea.
Number 4. I've only won one trophy at Man United.
Bruno.
No. I'm born in South America.
Was Andreas Pereira there when we won the EFL Cup? Was he there when we won? Romero was... I want to get this right. Andreas Pereira.
No.
Okay.
Last one, my name is always spelt incorrectly.
What was the first bit? He's
only won one trophy. Only won one trophy.
His name's always spelled incorrectly.
Name is always spelled incorrectly.
Henrik Mkhitaryan.
Casemiro.
I was going to say him.
Yeah. His name's with an I, not an E.
Did Mkhitaryan only win one trophy? Europa League?
No, he won.
No, he won two. He won the EFL Cup as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's stupid. Yeah, okay.
Mourinho season.
Casemiro. I'm having a stinker here today.
I was actually Googling the other day if the Community Shield is actually technically a major trophy. It is actually in the books technically
I
one,
wouldn't put it
but
as
no
that.
one. It's a glorified friendly.
Absolutely.
But you can understand why Mourinho was going around with the 3 the entire time.
Shithouse.
That was quality, that.
Yeah.
Last one. I played for Preston North End.
David Beckham.
No. I had a 17-year career at Man United.
Gary Neville didn't play for... Did Paul Scholes play for Preston North End?
Think earlier. Think earlier than that.
Beckham was there, but you're saying it's not him. He had a 17-year career. Ryan Giggs?
No. Last one, I'm a World Cup winner.
Oh my days. I'm having a
Think
proper brain
early.
fart here. World Cup winner. Played for Preston North End and played for Man United for like 17 years. How many World Cup winners have we had?
Not many.
Not English. There's definitely an English. Bobby Charlton.
Bobby Charlton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bobby Charlton.
That's him, yeah. Well done.
Bobby Charlton. I was thinking
Yeah,
actually,
so
the only one it could be is
after
him.
United, he went to Preston North End,
Yeah.
played for a bit, and then he managed them.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Interesting
Didn't know he played
facts.
for them. Yeah.
Yeah. Just one of the ones.
Big
The
ups to Bobby.
equivalent of like, when Rio went to
Of course.
went to QPR. It was
Yeah,
after
yeah,
17.
yeah.
I didn't know he was at United for 17. Obviously, he was
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
academy as well, but 17-year playing
A
career
long time.
with the first team.
But it was the World Cup winner that made me think, actually, out of the people who have stayed at 17 years, might have to be English.
1966.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't Paul Pogba.
It wasn't Paul Pogba.
Who definitely didn't have a 17-year
He did not
career
play
at
for,
United.
and he did not play
No.
for Preston North End.
That's also very true.
Yes.
Juventus and Man United.
Yeah.
He never won alone, did he? No. Yeah, so speaking a bit more about the game, obviously we met yesterday at Old Trafford, first time I'd been in a while. And I just want to talk a little bit about my experience there.
Yes.
So going
What
back
did
to
you
Old
feel?
Trafford, it was lovely. It's awesome being in there, but it's outside the stadium where I just felt a little bit like, what is this? Like the first time I went years ago was when I was probably 18, 19. And, I see the Old Trafford for the first time and I'm like, wow, this place is huge.
As a United fan, that
place
will always
is
do that
awesome.
to you if you've
Yeah.
never seen it. Even
And
that.
it was walking up the same way after you get off the tram up, you walk past Hotel Football and it's just there.
Yeah.
But then this time I was like, eh.
It's a bit rubbish, isn't it?
Yeah, I was looking at the top and it was like moulding.
Yes.
I'm like, someone just get like, those like window
The buffer
scraper
thing.
things.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just like, someone go up there and do that, please. Because it just looked a bit like meh. But then obviously once I actually got into the stadium, got into the kind of where the bar is, everything, walked up, sat in my stands. I think wasn't too far behind you. I was maybe about 15 rows behind you. In the
Oh, was
same,
you?
Yeah, in the same stand.
Alex Ferguson?
Yeah, I think I saw on your stories after. I was like, oh, it's the same as you had. Yeah. But it was great being there. So I was there on my own, surrounded by, I think they were all season ticket holders. They're all like 65 plus. They're all groaning and moaning about VAR.
Oh,
and
but
Bruno
the guy next to me always does
Fernandes.
it. Yeah, yeah.
And obviously quite rightfully there was that penalty thing. We scored, but it already.
Yeah.
So I think that's the first time I've seen that happen.
Yeah, well, because he's blown before.
Because he's
he
blown
didn't
before
let
the
it-
goal's gone in.
Yeah, he should have
I
waited.
thought there'd have been a rule
Nah.
basically stating
the
like
ref's
if they
blown the
score,
whistle,
if they score, but if
the
the
game
rest
ends. You just not
play to the whistle,
game
isn't it?
pauses, shall I say?
Yeah. But I think what I found surprising was I actually felt more like we were. It might have just been that game in particular, but I felt more like we were going to score when I was actually in the stadium compared to when I'm watching the game on TV. When I'm watching the game on TV, it feels
Mate, you
like
just picked a good game
it feels
to come
even
to.
worse. Do you think it was just a decent game to go to?
You just picked a good game to come to, mate. Like, we played against Sheffield United, who had a back five, 3 in midfield, 2 up front, allowed us to have, 70% of the ball? What game this year do we have 70% of the ball?
Yeah,
Very
true.
very
little.
little. Very rarely. And keep probing, keeping the ball, keep recycling, keep coming and coming. It's normally end to end, which there were a few moments in transition where we did get done.
Oh yeah.
But I'm not trying to rain on your parade.
It was just the
You just
good
picked a good game, bro.
bottom of the league, one of the worst teams we've seen in a long time.
They got their bottom, bro. They conceded over like 50 goals. Something like that.
We've conceded
65 or
72. God's competitions, we've conceded 72 now.
There you go.
It's either 72 or 76, but way too many. But I think one thing the game also has made me appreciate even more, is Kobbie Mainoo. Watching that guy it's so cool.
Yeah.
And he's picked up that, I don't know if it's something he's always done, but he's picked up that pass that Bruno does quite a lot, where he passes it with the outside of his foot,
Yeah,
like
just
pushes it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something he's always done or if it's something he started to pick up off Bruno Fernandes. But it's always a pass. Like every time I see
I just
Bruno
think
do it,
it's
I'm
him.
like, really clever pass.
It's him, bro. And like, this is what I was saying yesterday as well. Like, not a lot of people really spoke about Kobbie yesterday. But like, just the way he takes the ball, every time he gets it, the way he kind of just rolls it onto the other foot. If there's a bit of pressure, he's got a crisp touch, he can turn, and he wants to play forward. As soon as he gets it, it's almost like he sees that pass, it's just straight back to where he's just come from. But he gets on a half turn, has a look to see if he at least can do it. If he can't, don't get me wrong, of course, give the ball simple, keep the ball moving, don't hold on to the ball too long. But he always wants to play forward between the lines or to somebody's feet with a bit of pace. And if somebody tries to press him, I don't know if you saw it, it was in our stand, he just nutmegged the player, went straight around him, like, no problem. So he's so good, bro. It's scary how good he is.
He's got a good physicality to him as well.
Yeah,
like
he's
got a
stocky,
big frame.
Strong. I don't know if you've seen it. Is that the first time you've seen him play in person now?
Yeah.
Have you noticed? I keep laughing. It's just, I don't know if it's a private joke, but I say it out loud now. He has like a bit of an old man run. Like he kind of.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Like a little shuffle, like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like he just has this unique. Like the way he kind of. It's just how he runs. But funny enough, we don't really talk about. Again, he's so young and he's learning, so we don't really talk about the things he's not quite good at or some of the deficiencies in his game. The mobility is one in terms of like recovery pace. Yeah, he's not like a. You see how Fred could just run everywhere.
Yeah, Fred,
or like a
Fred
prime
was really
Kante
quick
can
off
get
the
about.
mark.
Yeah, he isn't that. And I don't think he would ever be that, which is absolutely fine because all the other things he does possess are extraordinary. That's why it's so important next year in terms of the midfielder that we're going to try and get. They need to be able to complement him. They need to be able to cover those spaces that he can't quite get to and then just let Cobby go and be Cobby because he's unreal.
Yeah, he is. And he's also not that one-footed either. He's becoming increasingly two-footed, which is nice. Yeah. I remember like in the first couple of games, he was very much on his right foot, but you know, as he's kind of developed and become more experienced and been able to kind of like settle playing senior first team football, he started using his feet more, and he was one of the few who was, I think, yesterday. Because another thing that I was looking at was our lack of left-footed players. I think actually really hurts, especially Lisandro Martinez. Watching us not have Lisandro Martinez, and as well having two right-footed people on the left wing. I know it's because it's Dalot and Garnacho. There's injuries. It was. I think it's causing. I remember it's something Ten Hag mentioned about a month ago, or so. Was he said the lack of left-footed players? Yeah. And he
likes it for his balance, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he has one Martinez. That he should be playing in Ahmad, and he really should be playing. And he was great when he came on yesterday. He has to start against Burnley.
And it's not even about the assists or like goals or whatever, because obviously Ahmad's not even had a chance to shine. Just how he plays, just how he looks after the ball, his technique, his touch, his way to pass, his vision. Just then when he does take someone on, it's at the right time. Then he won't try too much. He did some quick feet, and everyone was like, "Oh my god!" And then he just gave it simple after that. Yeah, wasn't the right time to smash it into them and lose possession. The chance is gone. Recycle. He's got to play.
Ahmad's clean is the best way I describe his football. It's clean, nice, technical, easy play, and I think a lot of that will have come from the Championship. Definitely him playing in the Championship, where a lot of the football is quite brutal. Yeah, quite brutal, full on, kicking you in the knees, kicking you in the ankles. You have to be really clean and technical and make the right choices in order to basically avoid injury in the Championship.
And it's just him as a player. He's just a good, technically sound player. That's just his game. He's got a good left foot. It just looks crisp. It just looks neat. I like it. He needs to start against Burnley.
I think
Anthony did nothing.
Definitely over Anthony,
Done nothing again.
I think Anthony's another player who he should go in the summer. I know that, so just kind of from the...
If the right money comes in.
Yeah, from the United side of things, like people we've spoken to, they are open to letting him leave in the summer, but he doesn't want to go. He ain't gonna go. And there's no one who wants him. The United have had no serious, either formal, informal talks, contract, interest,
and how could you blame, like, why would they have? Yeah. He hasn't done anything. Like, he's going to, again, sins of the past, like, he's going to have to be there next year. It'll be his third season. And he's even being a squad player, like, I just...
What about a loan? I don't know. Is that worth it? You know, maybe put him somewhere else, still contracted to us.
Maybe
do similar way that we kind of put Sancho on loan aid.
It just gives you breathing time,
thinking time, a little bit.
Space to evaluate. Yeah. If they can, I'll take that. But it's again, will they leave themselves light? Because do they have money to go and allow him to go on loan, but replace him? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you still got to pay probably.
Still got to pay his wages. You got. This is all about making financial sense for us and making good decisions. It's going to take a while because there's some players that are on big contracts which we have to wait to undo. It's not easy.
Like I don't think Anthony's on a pretty substantial contract.
Absolutely, of course he will be. Yeah,
so £80 million player.
So yeah.
The one worry, obviously the major worry from yesterday, was the fact that we conceded twice, both individual errors. The first one, Onana selling Dalot short, just miscommunication, wrong way of pass. Second one was generally we were defending in slow
Just got
motion.
opened
Is
up.
what I saw just open
Cut
up
back
completely,
goal
yeah.
maybe can happen all year,
And
whether it's top of the league or bottom of the league.
And it's something that's happening so consistently now under Ten Hag that it doesn't help with the rumours continuing. Will he be replaced this summer? There's the Telegraph claiming that he's basically on trial. If he is on trial, that wasn't a great look. Effectively, it looked like his teams got opened up quite easily, and then his main man came to the rescue for him, because that is ultimately what happened. Bruno Fernandes came to the rescue. And there's been a lot of talk at the moment about, mainly from his side, but Thomas Tuchel, saying apparently he really wants to come back to the Premier League. He seems really open to the United job. And one thing that Kane wrote the other week, he went back through some Athletic articles to the time when Tuchel was at Chelsea. Apparently one common theme was that Tuchel wasn't happy with how central he was to recruitment at Chelsea. Apparently he wanted to be more of a head coach at Chelsea, which is something that Ineos want. They want a recruitment specialist in charge of recruitment. They want the James Wilcox, technical director, to dictate the style of play and kind of get involved in the academy and making sure everything's streamlined through everything. So there is a chance that Tuchel might end up being kind of, should Ten Hag go, if his trial fails, that Tuchel might be the guy that could come here because he's the most available. He seems to want the job, and the Athletic are reporting that he wants it. So, credible source. There's stuff coming out about him. But what do you make of the links to Tuchel?
It's interesting.
It's a weird one, isn't it?
It is a weird one. And it's a weird one because basically there's two ways of looking at what he's done in the game. You can look at him as someone who's fallen out with every club. So he's fallen out at PSG, he's fallen out at Dortmund, he's fallen out at Chelsea, and he's fallen out at Bayern. So just bring him to Man United and then he's just going to do the same thing. But he's a manager of big clubs. He's somebody who understands what it is to be at a big club. He's won things. He's won the Champions League. He's won the Bundesliga.
Oh, he knows how to win.
He knows how to win. I'll be honest. When we played Bayern at home, I was in the presser. It was him and Musiala. I asked them both a question each. And when I asked Tuchel a question, I'll be honest, his response was like, he's just in general in the whole presser, he gives really thorough and detailed answers. He's a good talker. But I remember listening to him after the question, and I was watching him, and I'm like, you're all right, do you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, you know what? I forgot you're a good manager. I feel like people will discredit him and say he's not a good manager anymore because, look what's happened. Bayern are however many points behind. Look, an anomaly of Leverkusen being unbeaten. That's never happened. They're literally invincible, bro. Bayern are going to get 80 plus points. That's still
a very
still
good
very
season,
It's not like he's just gone out of a whimper and fallen. Literally, they had gone unbeaten. They're invincible. It's an anomaly.
Leicester City-esque type of season.
Exactly. He won the Champions League with Chelsea. Yes, he fell out with Chelsea, but look what's happened at Chelsea since. Graham Potter's fallen out with Chelsea. Pochettino is falling out with Chelsea. It's poison chalice. PSG, Unai Emery was there, fell out. It's the same thing. He's gone to Villa, doing an amazing job. No one goes into... Pochettino was there, won a trophy, is deemed as not enough. No one goes into PSG and really comes out you've done amazing.
On top, yeah.
It's just not what happens. No one in this modern day of Chelsea goes in and comes out looking roses, but he literally gave them a Champions League, bro. Let's not play that down. He knows how to win the big trophies. Bayern are still in it. They just knocked out Arsenal. Everyone had Arsenal down as kind of favourites a bit, depleted a few players out.
I think, in the second leg,
everyone was like, I'll tell you what, I got it done. Now they play Real Madrid, we'll see. He could get to another final, then what are you going to say? So got to the final already again before with PSG, didn't he?
You're right, yeah, he did.
Yeah, was it PSG? Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was PSG.
Was it Dortmund? Yes, PSG. Lost. But, again, so he knocks on the door for big trophies, and I do still think he's a good manager. It's just the recent setup of him. What would that look like? I just see the immediate thing amongst Man United fans is, it's so stupid. He's just fallen out with Chelsea, fallen out with PSG, fallen out with Bayern. Now we're going to take him. I don't turn my nose up completely to him. But I can see why there is reservations.
Yeah, he does. There is a track record of him just starting well and ending kind of it all capitulates a bit. And obviously the fact that it's at so many clubs means the chance of it being him, he's the common denominator realistically. But I also think the other common denominator is something you've alluded to, which is the specific clubs he's been at are so unstable. At PSG, there's so much player power there. Kylian Mbappe is basically their sporting director. How does your winger become your sporting director at Bayern Munich?
Same with Nagelsmann.
I think there's.
One still had to leave.
At Bayern Munich, there's kind of, and I remember they had a forum like a year ago or something where all the fans were screaming at the owners and stuff like. There are times where Bayern Munich
you can win the league and it's not in the style that they want and they get rid of you.
Yeah, that shouldn't really be a culture at a club. Is if you win a major trophy and they go, don't like.
But then you could argue it's how they keep their standards super, super high where they never drop. Because as soon as there's a period of like, we ain't winning the league, like what's happening, or Barca ain't won the league, them clubs act. The super clubs act.
Yeah.
Which you could look at that way.
But but Bayern also, it looks a little bit like they're kind of throwing their toys out the pram to a certain extent.
Yeah.
I mean, at Dortmund, Tuchel was great at Dortmund. I feel like, I can't remember quite why he left Dortmund. I think there was some sort of falling out at the end, but I think he was there for a number of years and he did really, really well with that club. And at Chelsea, obviously, as you said, it was ridiculous at Chelsea. And many Chelsea fans, especially my mates who are Chelsea fans, were gutted when he left. Because they were like, he has just won us a Champions League. A lot of them really, really liked him. And he is, as you said when you were talking to him, he seems like, a pretty charismatic guy. I personally like a manager who has a bit of fire in press conferences, like with Ten Hag before the game yesterday. He was kind of taking snipes at reporters and, backing himself. I like that kind of stuff. And I think Tuchel, not to say that I would necessarily want Tuchel the most, I have no idea who I'd want. I'm kind of abstaining from saying who I want because I have no idea. And I like what Ineos are doing so far with their recruitment. So I'm just going to wait and see what they do. And I will be on board with whatever they do because they've proven themselves that they so far know what United need. So hopefully they find the manager that United need as well.
Yeah, and
but if it is Tuchel, honestly, I'm be like,
I wouldn't
give
be.
it a go.
There's some people I could see who would be fuming with that and think that could be the stupidest thing they could do. I mean, it is about options, and this is why some people say be careful what you wish for. Stick with Ten Hag, give him time, stop being impatient. If you lined up the managers that could be potentially available, and I know it's silly, but let's just say Gareth Southgate, Graham Potter, Roberto De Zerbi, Thomas Tuchel.
He's, by the way, a tier above all of them.
A tier above all of them.
Multiple tiers above all of them.
That's easy for me. That's an easy one. And then you're getting into territory of trying to prize somebody out who's a bit left field who no one really thought. Like, look what Liverpool are going through now.
Yeah,
thought they'll get Xabi Alonso. Thought they'd get Xabi Alonso. Thought they'd get Amorim. And now the guy from PSV, what's his name again?
Arne Slot, I think
Arne Slot, yeah. And now they've got to do loads of research and convince themselves that they're still going to get rock and roll football from this new guy. Do you know what I mean? But if we do change Ten Hag and there's not any obvious... Tuchel, in terms of... Because when you say the manager's market and who's got pedigree, who's done stuff in the game, who's available, it's him.
He's the only one.
He's the only one.
Yeah.
Everyone else is more of a risk, more of a punt. But I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah, I think it's the most... Weirdly, it's the A, most sensible appointment and B, least sensible appointment. Depending on your viewpoint.
But also, again, don't rule out Eric giving some time and some patience. Yeah. Structure changes players get fit again. Don't rule that out. I'm still not, although I've been on the fence and I've said, I just don't think he's going to turn it around and stuff. I still wouldn't be completely angry if he stayed. I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. I'd get behind it.
As I said, if Ineos think that's the choice they want to make,
I'd ride with it. I wouldn't be like,
sweet.
They've missed they're so stupid. They had the perfect chance to get rid of him. Now they haven't. We're doomed. I would say, okay, let's see how it goes. Listen, the scrutiny will be on, all eyes now, because you keep being given your last chance to lose.
Yeah, all or nothing.
So you've got to deliver something, some form of progress. But it's whether Ineos want to do that or not.
And keeping Ten Hag, as you said, the manager market, it is a little bit scarce at the minute. Some of the good managers, even some of the up-and-coming ones like Xabi Alonso, etc., or even like Xavi at Barcelona, etc., they're all staying. Like Xavi just announced he's staying at Barcelona for the season, which is good for United if they want to change manager, because that's a club less who don't want a new manager, which is nice. And I can see Tuchel at Barcelona kind of thing. I don't know why that might be decent, but...
Yeah, because where's he going to go now?
He's managed all the top clubs and then fallen out with all the top owners.
He might win the Champions League and they ask him to stay as well. Imagine
that. Yeah, because Nagelsmann's staying in Germany, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
till 26. So or whatever it was. Yeah, I think he signed till
Yeah,
2026.
but see, the big question
He could stay himself.
is, let's say you're given the option: red button Ten Hag, green button Tuchel. Right now, which one are you thinking more, or you got no idea? Stick or twist, basically. You're on the poker table. You got 17. That's not poker, is it?
Oh, I don't like that question.
Is it too much for 50-50?
I don't know.
Personally,
so
I would
against-
lean towards twisting for Tuchel, but that's just because Ten Hag's, no pun intended, the devil I know, and the devil I've not over the past few months at times really not enjoyed. But I know obviously there's a whole whole injury thing, like 12 injuries for yesterday's game.
Yeah,
But
there's a big part of me that wants to see Ten Hag turn this around.
I would, if he does, fantastic.
Yeah,
Because it means because if he's turned it around, then it means we're doing well, and ultimately that's what I want. More than anything, I want the club to do well.
Yeah.
But just sometimes, some stuff that Ten Hag does, and I'm just like, why?
Yeah.
It's little things like playing Anthony over. It's just little things like that.
The Rashford persistence of Rashford.
Yeah. It's not massive things that they do or say which annoy me. It's just little things. And then with Tuchel, brand new toy, but that could be a dangerous game because we have no idea.
And he doesn't stay places long as well. It's like you're going into just a whole different territory. But I wouldn't think it was a huge mistake either way. That's what, and it's as on the fence as you can be. But it's okay. Like, why do I have to say 100% Erik Ten Hag's not the right man? He still might be.
You don't.
Do you know what I mean? He still might be. How can I 100% Tuchel say he isn't? He could be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
people.
I really am on the fence with it, man. I really am.
You think either way, just kind of see what happens.
Wait and see. Wait and see.
Yeah. I think ultimately that is the best place to, from the most mentally sound point of view as a United fan, just wait and see what happens. Because realistically, we can't influence. I can't sit here and go on What the Devil podcast, sack Ten Hag, and then Ineos goes, yeah, we'll do it.
No, not we'll do it. Exactly.
It doesn't affect anything.
Whatever they say, we have to just rock with. Simple as that.
Roll with the punches. I mean, hopefully it can't get worse than this season.
Oh, mate, I'm fed up saying that. I don't know.
I've said that for about 4 of the last 8 seasons, I think.
Yeah. I don't get involved in saying it ain't going to get worse, but it's just all ahead for the FA Cup, innit? Try and get some players back, and
I'm feeling
I'm
feeling different this year about the FA Cup than I did last year.
I know what you mean. But by the end of it, we could be like, why did we even think we had a chance? Look at us, see.
4-0.
By the way we're playing
at half time,
bro. By the way we're playing, it doesn't look good. But the finals form goes out the window. The way we were playing, no one thought we wouldn't lose against Liverpool.
Yeah, true.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't think I could take another game like that though. Imagine we're 3-3
It could
against
easily be
City
that.
in
It
the
could easily be that, mate.
120th
Penalties,
minute.
anything. Yeah, it could easily be that. But I think we can give City a good game at Wembley.
Yeah, I think we actually have more capability this year than we do last year. Assuming people are fit. Assuming Martinez is back, Shaw is back, Casemiro can go back into midfield. We've got Kobbie Mainoo this year.
Yeah.
We've got a striker. Who played up front last year? Was it Martial? Or was it Weghorst?
No, I think it was Rashford, no? Sancho played on the left, no? It was Sancho.
Maybe.
Sancho, Rashford, Anthony? Or did Bruno play on the right and he went Fred, Tommy Eriksson? I can't remember. I can't remember.
But I actually think this year, pound for pound, we're looking a little better. Yeah. So and the other thing is we don't have David De Gea. Honestly, I just feel, I know obviously Onana literally yesterday made that error, but I do feel
he could do that at Wembley as well.
He could, but David
De Gea killed us.
At the same time, I actually do feel more confident with Onana. The people around me yesterday were all just saying the entire time, he's a madman, because there was a point when we were taking the penalty, he was over the halfway line. I was like, what keeper does that? But at the same time, weirdly, I also, despite all his mistakes in the first half of this season, I actually do feel a little safer when we have Onana in goal.
Do you? Yeah, well, with the passing out from the back, definitely.
Yeah.
The team was Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Lindelof, Shaw, Dalot on the bench. Remember, that was when Wan-Bissaka was just out and out. Casemiro, Fred, Eriksson, Bruno on the right, Sancho on the left, Rashford up front. So
okay. I think that our front three this year, assuming we have, let's say our front three ends up being...
He'd go Garnacho on the right.
Rashford on the left. Rasmus up top. I think that's a better front three to face City than the one you just read out. Assuming obviously Bruno still plays, but he plays.
Yeah, I don't like Bruno on the
We
right.
got Mainu, we got
Ericsson can't move now. Yeah. Because Mainu's in there
he
now,
was quite poor yesterday.
Yeah,
Ericsson.
Mainu, Bruno, Casemiro.
Yeah.
But even Casemiro's just dodgy, but big game players at Wembley.
One last game, you can put everything out there, and then we can get rid of him.
Big header from a corner. Need him on the pitch.
He's a clutch player.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, big games he tends to do all right.
Yeah.
And then smaller games is when he fails. But I think that about rounds up episode 14 of What the Devil.
14 episodes.
Hey,
of What the Devil.
It's been a pleasure so far to write them, host
many
them,
more
everything.
to come, bro. Many
more
to come.
And we'll be back next week after we play Burnley, potentially Crime. Do we have a midweek game? I don't believe we do.
Play when we got Palace on a Monday? No, that'll be the following.
That's the following week.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for tuning in to episode 14 of What the Devil. It's been a pleasure to do all these so far. And remember to listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And if you want all the latest news, check out us at United District. Yesterday I went up to the game, filmed a little vlog for myself. That'll be out this evening on the United District YouTube channel. Apart from that, everyone take care. Have a good week.